Why do you think God made it so ladies could have babies? Who is more compassionate toward a child, a man or a woman? And be honest. And I don't want to hear about Mr. Mom, okay? Who's the most compassionate to that child? Whenever it's in the middle of the night, anybody have a new baby in their house? Raise your hand. Yeah, I know you do. Congratulations, Abu Omar. Mabruk. But who's the one gets up when that baby cries in the night? Who? You? You go in there and feed him? No. You're like this, right? Oh my God. Over there. Get up. Am I right? Yeah. How many men would just put their fingers in their ears and sleep till the morning and, the kid will be all right? Seriously, who has the compassion for the child? The mother. Who is the one who really will work with that child to teach him how to speak? The mother. Who is the one who's going to set this child's personality in place? The mother. Who's going to come along and corrupt it? The father. I'm just kidding now. Many fathers, I'm one of them, I'm a very compassionate father for a guy. But we have limits. I love my kids so much. I really do. But I got limits. And my wife, she's so patient. My 28-year-old son, by the way, just now getting out of the hospital from double pneumonia. He nearly died. They had to run that tube down, what's it called? That breathing tube. What do they call it? No, the tube itself that they... Ventilator. It's not med school, is it? The ventilator. And he nearly died. And they were really concerned the first couple of days. Is he going to make it? 28 years old. I said, my God, he's so big and healthy. I can't believe this is happening. But as soon as he's out, it's back to like, let's be cool again, you know? So fast. And I'm thinking, I can't be patient with this guy. But the mother, so patient, so compassionate. And by the way, stepmothers are the same way. They can be very compassionate too. And it's not even their kid. Ladies, I want you to think about it. Could you take in somebody else's baby and raise it and care for it and love it? You could, couldn't you? You could. A little teeny tiny little baby. Come on. But guys, you see a baby, you're going to go, man, give it, call the orphanage. So men are not like women. So don't try to make them to be something they're not. But be fair. And Islam is treating them fair. Women have rights in Islam, big rights. One of the first and initial rights that a woman had when Islam came was the right to retain her identity. She did not become chattel property. She was not something to be bought, sold, traded, or mortgaged. And that's the status of women in the 7th century. And if you doubt that the church had the same opinion, it was in the 7th century exactly when the church, Catholic Church, held their council to decide whether or not a woman even had a soul. Hello? But Islam came and said, look, these are ladies like yourselves. They have rights. You have to honor them. You have to respect them. But they're different than you are. A woman is not like a man, and you have to give them respect. And even the expression that the prophet used, peace be upon him, was to describe Eve and how she was made from the curved bone of Adam. Not the same as Adam, because she's different, but still what? Not from the foot bone, by the way, to be under him, or the head bone to be over him, but right here from the side to be with him. Make sense? Look how Islam is explaining this subject, that she is curved, meaning she's not the same as you are, but it says don't straighten her. Leave her to be in her way. A man is in his way, and a woman is in her way. They're not the same. Don't try to make that an equals, but do make it fair. How many, and I want you to think about it, how many women do you know got married and changed their last name to the husband's name? How many men got married and changed their name to their wife's last name? Huh? And we're going to exclude all of California, by the way. I think I'm going to bring that up. Because Islam forbid that 1400 years ago. The woman keeps her name, she keeps her identity, and she has a legal contract for marriage that clearly spells out what the deal is going to be. And the man has to live up to it. And a woman has the right to divorce. It's not liked in Islam, but there's a whole chapter about divorce in the Quran, explaining the rights of both parties. The man and the woman having the right to divorce. But it has so many chances for reconciliation and to be fair. And it's constantly reminded to be fair in a divorce. How many of you ever heard about somebody in a divorce? Was it fair? No. In Islam it has to be fair. You want to talk about fair? Study Islamic law with regard to divorce and property settlement, and you'll say, oh my God, why don't we have that here? I'm going to wrap it up on that. I wanted to share just one aspect, one facet of the beautiful diamond of Islam, and that's to talk about the role of the women. And by the way, I mentioned to you earlier in the program, Islam is the fastest growing religion, but I didn't tell you who are the people coming into it the most. For every man that entered Islam, anywhere from 4 to 10 women entered Islam, depending on which country you're in. From 4 to 10 times as many women enter Islam as men. If Islam is so repressive, it's so hard on the women, how come they're the number one going in? 4 to 10 more than the men. Last little piece of it, not advice, but information for you. I saw in an email today, one who came to Islam in Arizona at the age of 52 years old. No, that's not amazing. I'm 60, that's no big deal. But this person was in law enforcement, police officer, and came to know about Islam by sponsoring some Saudi students who lived in their home, and they watched these young police officers from Saudi Arabia help them to learn the English language and learned about this religion called Islam. So much so that this individual decided, I want to be a Muslim. This is the religion I've been looking for all my life. You know what happened? He said after I became Muslim, I had a problem with the dress code. Police dress code. You know why? They wouldn't let her wear the hijab while she was on duty. But after she finished her tour of duty, then she started wearing this hijab. It's a beautiful story. There's a whole lot more of them out there. Take time to find out more about the real Islam and about the people who follow it. I think you'll be impressed.